Hello, once again, I'm back. And I know I promised to be back every Friday to have a conversation about starting home care in Texas, okay? So if you haven't watched last week's video, I urge you to go and watch it so that you can be able to catch up with us as we move along, okay? Because we're just going to be building this up slowly by slowly. Last week when I came here, we talked about deciding. If you are not here, my name is Betty, and I am a home care provider, and I am also a healthcare entrepreneur. And what I do is I help people who want to start their own businesses, start their own home cares. Another thing I do too is help people with operations. So if you're stuck with operations, you're welcome to have a conversation with me. Thank you again, and thank you so much for being here today. So last week we talked about deciding, okay? You decide the lane that you want to take. And remember, we said there were different types of services that you could offer. You could either offer services in the home, you could either offer services in a group home. But for us specifically, we are talking about home care. That's what we are talking about. So this is the thing that if you're in Texas, so I'm going to take you through what you need to go through. And then one of these days, I'm also going to come and show you, like on the website, like step by step, like where you need to click. But for now, this is what we have. So Texas, you go to the Texas Health and Human Services website, right? When you go to the Texas Health and Human Services website, you're going to select community services. It's called community support services, right? There are very many. So you need to select specifically community support services, and then you can review there and look at they have a list of everything that you need. We're going to talk about that list, and then we're going to talk about how you're going to get everything, okay? So for now, we are just at the beginning. We're just building up. So we talked about home care versus home health. Last week, we differentiated the two. We said that the home health has the skilled services, and then we said the home care only has non-medical services, okay? So then we talked about, when we talked about the healthcare, we said you have to really, really also, even when you're in home care, you have to know like the niche that you're going to be taking. Remember, we said that yes, it is non-medical, but you can niche out in home care. You can say, I'm going to be providing home care for special needs people or children or adults, or you can say, I'm going to give veterans. Okay, so you have to choose the niche. Okay, now all this we are on research mode for week 1. So week 1, you are also supposed to do research, yeah, and look at the agencies around you and see what people are providing, how much they're offering their services. You are supposed to do all that. Okay, that's if you're starting your agency. And this part, it doesn't have to be in Texas. You can be anywhere in the country. You can do research for wherever you are. Okay, the only difference with what we're talking about is that when it comes to showing you on the website what you need to do, like where you need to go, I will be showing the Texas one. That's why I'm calling it the 90-day challenge for Texas edition. Okay. All right. So this week, I'm going to talk about something that really, really bothers a lot of people, and that is the money part of the business. Most people are scared to start because of finances, okay? There are so many ways that you can fix that you can fix finance issues. So first of all, you need to do a budget, right? Do a budget, and don't do extravagant things, but do a reasonable budget. Just sit down and do a budget. You can ask someone who knows how to do budgeting to help you come up with a budget. You're also welcome to, check in with me. I can help you with that. And also you can also look for a tax person to help you with the budget, so they can able to help you to break down everything so you can know exactly how much you need. So that way you have a way of working backwards to see what can I do to come up with this money? And is this everything that I need to start this business? Okay. So first of all, the thing is you have to ask yourself, do I have enough money? If the answer is yes, that's awesome. If the answer is no, then you have to sit down and write down every amount of money that you need to start your business. And I want to give you, okay, so for me, this is what I did. How I thought about the money part, right? I had already done like a little budget because I didn't know like the very, very details of what was needed. But one thing I knew is that I needed money to register my business and I needed money for the license. So that was my first goal, to get money for the license and get money for registering my business. Registering the business was easy because it was here in Texas, it's $300. So I was able to come up with that real quick. The part that was a little bit challenging was coming up with the money for the license. Okay. So that part, I had to sit down and see what I could do. And one of the things I did to raise the money, apart from getting a little money from a family member, I worked an extra job. And part of that money that I worked that extra job, I put it in the kit, to raise funds for that license. Okay, so that's one thing you need to think about. How are you going to raise that? Are you going to work an extra job to get that? Do you have money somewhere saved that you are sure you can use and you'll not have issues? Or do you have someone who is sponsoring the business to start? And there are different ways. You can actually do even a drive, like a garage sale, to raise money. There's different ways you can raise money. So, but you have to really sit down and think and see which one works the best for you. Okay. Don't do things that other people are doing and then they stress you. One thing that I didn't want was to be in debt, especially for the business. I wanted to have the position where I could cancel that business anytime with knowing that I didn't have a debt on the business. All right. So you have to do that. Look at the cost. Start with the cost. What is the range of the amount of money that you need? I can tell you that if you are working with me, there are some things I can show you that will help you reduce the fee, or maybe not even have a fee at all, because you can use things that are free to start and then you go building up. The only thing I know that will not be free is things like licensing. That will definitely not be free and you have no control of that. You have to find the money for that. And then registration for the business. You also need insurance for the business. So all these things you need to sit down and actually write them down. So you start from the registration of the business, the licensing of the business. Once you're licensed, then you get insurance. You get insured and bonded. Okay. Then you look for a payroll app, and then you look for a billing app, like you can use QuickBooks or something like that. Payroll app, I always let people know that I use Gusto, and I love Gusto. It's my go-to app. Okay. It's the app that I go to for anything that is HR. Okay. And then you have to, when you're working, especially when you're starting solo, like I did, what you do, you get apps or you get whatever you're using, make sure it's friendly to a solopreneur. Okay. You make sure it's friendly to a solopreneur. Make sure that you are able to manage the small business in a very, very systematic way so that you don't forget. Remember, you have a lot of things to do with compliance that you have to deal with. Okay. Then once you see how much money you need, okay, then that's when you will decide, am I going to do a garage sale? Am I going to borrow money? Am I going to work double shift? Am I going to go and look for a loan? That is all up to you. If you decide to go look for a loan, that is all up to you. But it is not something that I would typically advise someone, especially at the beginning. Okay. Just you wait until you see growth. Then you can actually borrow against for your business. Okay. Then once you've explored all financial options, then you can start working from there. And if you're not able to do it, please go ahead and connect with me and I'll be able to help you. Okay. Connect with me and I'll be able to help you. We can have a call and see how I can help you just figure it out while you're preparing for your launch. Okay. So remember that part for the money is a very, very important part because it's the one that can really make or break your business. Okay. It can really make or break your business. So don't forget that that is the part that we need to deal with first. Okay. After you do your research, then look at your money, see what your money is telling you and see where to start. With a non-medical agency, it's actually cheaper to start than starting a home health company because that one you will need a lot, to have the home health company running, okay, and the payroll and all that. But with the home care, it's a little bit easier. And actually, it even gets better if you decide to start and do the visits by yourself, okay? It gets even better price-wise, okay? So think about that this week. This week, your assignment is to write down everything you need for your business. If you would like to have a checklist for what you need for your business, go ahead and comment. When you comment on this video, it has to be on this particular video so that I can know which checklist you're looking for, right? So comment on this video and you say home care budget. When you say home care budget, or you say, yeah, let's use home care budget so that I can know it's from this episode. When you say that, I'll be able to know what exactly you need. And then I can send you something that you can run down. It's going to be a free resource for you. It's going to help you write down everything that you need so that you can calculate the finances that you need. And anyone can use this. So you don't really have to be in Texas to use that budget planner. You can be from any state, okay? It really doesn't matter. It will still work the same way, okay? But you also have to look at the state where you are. How much is it to start a business? That's the business registration, and then licensing too. And then there are other things that are needed too. So you might have to sit down and really put down together what is needed for your state. For now, we are at the money part, okay? We haven't moved to anything. We are at the money part. Once we have that situated, next week, we're going to start building now our business. We're going to start registering our business. We're going to be doing all that. So if you haven't covered what we did last week, the research part, go listen and do your research. You have any questions, send me a message, put it in my comments. I will see it and I will respond to everyone who writes to me. Okay. And then today you do the budgeting part. I will respond. Once I respond, next week we are starting. Remember, this is a 90-day challenge. I decided to put it as 90 days so that we can go as slow as possible, so that those people who are serious and want to start their home care business, they can go ahead and start during this 90-day period. If you feel that you're not able to do all this by yourself, let me know that you're not able to do this by yourself, and we're going to have a call and maybe see how you can join the program. But if you're able to do this by yourself, go ahead and start. There's no better time like the first quarter of the year starting your business, okay? I look forward to hearing from you. If you get stuck, let me know. Drop a comment. Let me know that you're stuck and I'll see how I can help you. In the meantime, if you're watching me for the first time, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification button. Then we can have a conversation as we go along. Okay? Thank you so much.